Mr. Orion Cosce. Did I say that correct?
Orion Cosce.
Orion. I knew it. I was practicing before and everything. I was like, Orion. It's all right. So how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. I actually just got done with a little bit of work. Just ready to go back to work later on. I got another work meeting at 3:30, so it's just one of those days where I'm trying to fit in everything when I can and where I can. But looking forward to dinner tonight. My homie's gonna take me out to dinner to celebrate the win because he hasn't had a chance to do that yet. So I got to
Oh
go and
boy.
steak and all that with my homie.
Of course. So how's work been so far? Where are you working right now?
I'm actually a personal trainer over at the UFC gym Uriah Faber that's based in Rockland. So I got
Oh,
lucky because when I first moved down here, I was looking for work because I was a bartender before I moved down here about three and a half years ago. And then Uriah was like, "Hey man, do you know how to personal train people?" I was like, "That's easy. That's what I love to do." And he hooked me up with that job, so I was grateful about that. But it's good. I like it. I get to work close with James the Sandman Irvin, and he's actually my striking coach as well. So, he's my boss as well as my striking coach. So it's pretty cool. I just talk crap to him every day. We just always going around making sure everything's all good at the gym. A lot of training, just individuals and group classes, whether it be, uh, fitness for strength and conditioning, kickboxing, wrestling, etc.
yeah. So, oh,
Sorry about that.
bless you, bless you. All right. So, how does it feel that you get to train people in something you know all about? You've been training for this all your life. So, how does it feel? You know everything about where you're working.
It's awesome, because if I miss a morning practice, I still am able to go and just train at my gym, and I usually train about 2, 3 times a day, depending on what I'm doing. If one practice or one training session is a little bit longer, I'll ease up on the next training session. I just got to make sure I take the adequate amount of rest that I need between each training session that I have. So in the mornings, it's usually training over at Alpha Male, so I make that my cardio and like my conditioning and drilling. And then in the afternoons, evenings, I'll make that my power, strength, endurance, all that stuff. But I'll also do a little bit of running at night too if I, feel like I need a little bit more cardio throughout the day, or I'll hit some sprints and whatever I need to do to make sure I'm working out.
Yeah. So it's going on 3 weeks when we post this interview. So 3 weeks ago, you competed on the Dana White's Contender Series. You took on a very tough, strong opponent, and you took him out in the late in the third round. So talk to me. Were you surprised by anything Matt Dixon did?
No, I actually expected everything that he was going to do. I thought he'd put more volume though, but I also knew that going into the fight, it was something I was telling my corners. I was telling my brother, they were like, "Hey, just look out. When he comes out, he's gonna try to throw, a lot of combinations. He'll throw volume." I'm like, I've had a lot of fighters say that though, and if every time I fought somebody, it's like there's something about that aura that I have that makes it to where they don't throw or they don't fight the way they want to fight. In that first round, he did a great job of getting those takedowns. Um, and then, even with the takedowns, I was able to work back up. I was getting my strides. I was able to get up and do what I wanted to do. And I felt like it gassed him out, not being able to just hold me down there, not being able to impose that dominance like he wanted to. He had a great first round with the take. The first takedown, I was standing too tall against the cage. I got right back up. The second and third takedown, that was more so me just overcommitting on my punches because I was trying to land heavy shots on him because I knew that anytime I hit him, it was going to hurt him. I just got heavy hands. I know how to throw. I know how to use my whole body when I'm, committing to a punch or a strike or whatever it is, even on my combinations. But going in that second round, I told my corner, I was like, he's not going to take me down again. That's the last time he took me down. They're like, all right, cool. Well, just stay a little heavier on your legs. Don't let him get those. Your hip. But no, trust me, he ain't going to take me down again.
Mm.
And then that second round, I'm hitting him. He's getting desperate for the takedowns. He's trying to hold, blasting me into the cage, which is fine because I'm able to just stay heavy right there and wear down on his arms. I'm able to move. And when it comes to grappling, I've done it for so long. My arms do not get tired. My body does not get sore unless I'm wrestling and grappling for like an hour straight. I have to be like nonstop grappling for a long time in order to get tired. And that's something even my teammates say. They're like, it's hard to like move you. It's like we can't move through you. You're moving through us. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
change angles all the time. That's something I like to do. I like to stay top heavy. I'm working underhooks, overhooks, anything. So in the second round, when I wanted off the cage, I got off the cage. When I wanted him on the cage, he did a good job at breaking it off by double post base, but that also left it open for me to start throwing some strikes or reset myself. That way I can keep wearing him down. And then going into my corner, I was like, he's done, he's finished. And they're like, no, yeah, you got to go out there and get to finish this round. You did really good that round. It's 1-1. I was like, no, I'm going to finish it this round because I saw it in his face. I knew I was looking right at him. And even then, with the whole entire 2 seconds left on the clock, 3 seconds left on the clock, I just didn't want to hit him late. And it was more so out of like respect, like, hey man, let's go into the third round. Let's finish this fight. But I was smiling going into the third round. I knew I was about to finish the fight right there.
After that dominant win, there's got to be some kind of talks with management, coaches. When does Galaxy Cosce, something like that, want to get back in that cage?
I want to get back as soon as possible, man. I'd like to fight again on September 19th if I can. They have a slot open. I know that's, booked up right now, but if there's a dropout, I'd love to be on that fight card. And even, if not then Halloween. Either the third week of October or Halloween would be fun. And then if not those, the first week of November. I'm talking with my management. I want to fight as soon as possible. This is one of those fights where he told me, hey, man, you can pick and choose who you want to fight for the contender. And I straight up said, I don't care who I fight. You the best person to fight available. That way there is no, Cosce did good, but, he's just not UFC ready because this guy wasn't ready. Matt Dixon was number 4 prospect out of all prospects in all of MMA. I think he was the number 1 prospect at the 170-pound division, right?
Okay, something like that, I believe, yeah.
And so I went in there and I did my thing. How are you going to say no to a guy who just finished that? Who that last round and finished the fight. And I talked with Dana after the fight too, and he loved it. He liked it. And it was just one of those things where he's like, I don't do research on any of these guys going into this fight. He's all, Matt Dixon was a guy I've heard about. You're a guy I didn't hear about until today. And I was like, cool. But it was fun. I like those kind of fights. I like those, battles. Don't get me wrong. I like to finish fights fast too. If I could have finished him in the first, I would have been happy with it. But then at the same time, what are people going to say? Oh, he caught him. Oh, he got a lucky punch or a lucky submission. Oh, Matt Dixon got caught slipping. He wasn't really focused. No. I went in there. It was a 3-round fight, and I was able to impose my will in the second and third round.
Yeah, so you took over the fight when you felt like you wanted to take on the fight, correct? You felt like, okay, this is where I'm going to win the fight. I'm going to stop his takedowns. It was all Galaxy Cosce the rest of the fight.
Yes, sir.
So what was the overall experience with Dana White's Contender Series? How did you feel when you walked onto that plane till the time when you flew back home?
Man, I was ready to just be done cutting weight, honestly. The UFC's been doing a really good job with all the COVID stuff. I understand they have to take all the necessary precautions too on this COVID, so they're not spreading it. But as soon as you land, you take a temp check and a COVID test, and then you're just locked in your hotel room the whole entire day, pretty much. You can go upstairs, downstairs, you can run inside the hotel, but you got a fitness room as well. But the second day, we were given a little bit of freedom. If we tested negative for COVID, we had that little bit of window time to go to the store, being guided by one of the security guys to make sure we're not running off and doing stupid stuff, to go and get the groceries we needed, the recovery stuff we needed to replenish properly for after our weigh-in. And then, Monday obviously is the day of the weigh-in. But it felt pretty cool, man. I didn't let it get to my head, though. I didn't come there to be like, oh, man, it's so awesome to be on this experience. No, I waited for all of it to be said and done to be able to, take all of that in with, my brother, with our corners, with family and friends over the phone. And then even management in person, I just couldn't let it get to my head. I'm not the kind of guy who goes into a fight thinking, man, I worked so hard to be able to be on the camera. I told myself I deserve to be here. I don't care. I knew I was going to win. I just have that, that mind that I always go into a fight knowing I'm going to win.
Of course. So you mentioned your brother, Luis, I believe it is, right?
Yeah, Luis.
Lewis. I keep getting names wrong today. I'm not on the ball. All right, so you gotta tell us here, who has the better sense of humor, Mr. Lewis or Galaxy Cosce?
I like to say I do, but my brother, he's funny as well. If we when we're together, we're always nonstop laughing. You can ask our friends, family, our ladies, like, you ask them and they'll just tell you straight out, like, when we're separate, like, our humor is one thing, but when we're like in the same room or hanging out together, our humor level is just way off topic.
Yeah.
It's like we'll say one thing and then we'll still laugh about it 5 minutes later because we made a story now and people are like, oh my god, how can you guys keep going on about it? And we're just laughing. And I think it's more so because we just enjoy hanging out together. He's living back up in Humble where we're both from, and I'm living down in Sacramento area. It's one of those things where obviously we're just missing each other all the time, but we're able to stay in touch. So it's a good thing. I travel up there to visit. He'll travel down here to visit. So we make each other every now and then.
All right, so we'll make sure that he doesn't hear that part, that you have the better sense of humor. We'll have to keep that a secret.
The funnier one.
All right, so I'm pretty sure you mentioned this, but in the fight, I saw that tattoo on the chest. You gotta tell us, what is that tattoo about?
It says, "I am the hope of the universe." It's the whole entire quote that reason when he turned in for the first time.
Yeah, so why did you get that, I guess? Is it something that you look back and you think about?
I grew up believing that. I grew up watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I grew up wanting to be just like Goku. But, I actually have a heart condition, and Goku had that heart condition. And so it's one of those things where it's like, he never let it stop him. Like, yeah, he was sick for a while, but, I'm not letting it stop me. I've had doctors, even in this last fight, like, they're trying to not sign off on it. Versus I've had multiple doctors, hey, man, yeah, you're good to go. You train a lot. You're healthy. Your heart rate's low. That's probably just because you're athletic. Versus doctors right before this being like, no, I'm not going to sign off. I don't know much about it. It's like, because you don't know much about something, you're not going to sign off. Just do your job. Like, you don't know much about it. Call a colleague. Get a colleague in so they can do your job for you. And it's just like this guy saying, like, oh, your heart condition, it's bad. I'm like, yeah, well, your body weight is bad too. Like, I'm fit. My heart rate is I'm active. Your heart rate is high because look at you. You're probably going to eat a donut right after this. Cardiologist is trying to tell me, oh, yeah, your heart isn't good for fighting. Versus I'm looking at them. I'm like, damn, like, your heart because I'm training all the time to make sure it stays, pumps oxygen, resting heart rate, they're in between 34 to 37. And then when I have like a flutter, because I have much of a prolapse, so when it flutters, it'll go up to like resting heart rate of 41 to 46. And so it's one of those things where it's like always varying, but it's usually at the low end between 34 and 37. And that's why the cardiologist is like, that's just not normal. And I'm like, it's normal if you're athletic. It's a normal thing if you're an athlete.
I'm pretty sure it's normal in the high caliber athletes, I guess.
Yep.
All right, so this last one, I know you're a big Goku fan, but other than Goku, who is your favorite character?
Raleigh.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about him. Why is he your favorite character?
Oh man, so when Brawley first became a thing, that was back in the day. So that was, the legendary Super Saiyan Brawley. That was the one who was like, he was like crazy. He was crazy because of power was through him. And that's the thing about Saiyans is like, he had so much power that he just went and stuff like, he just doesn't care. He just wants to go and destroy everything. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, dang, all that power, just making him go mad. And then obviously, in Dragon Ball Super, they made Brawley canon again. And he went insane because of the power. He was actually not dumb. He is kind of intelligent, good backstory versus the original non-canon Brawley. But it's just one of those things where it's like, if you watch it, you got to take a look back. Watch the original Brawley movie, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's something people will have to witness themselves. They'll have to learn about these characters and everything, I guess.
Yeah, start with Dragon Ball, watch Dragon Ball Z, watch all the movies, and then watch GT, I guess, and then just watch all of Super in the movies.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm a fan of Piccolo too. He's a pretty cool guy, no?
Piccolo's an OG.
This is the last one. I said the last one was the last one, but this is the last one here, alright? So why will Galaxy Cosce, Orion Cosce, I got it right this time. You can't say no. Why will you be the UFC welterweight champion?
Because I work harder than anyone else, man. I'm just gonna keep working. I don't give up. I don't quit. We just saw that in my last fight. A lot of people, after being taken down like that, they don't make those fight adjustments. They'll find ways to just give up. But I don't give up in fights. I'm always looking for the finish. And anytime I hit somebody, it hurts them. Anytime I hit somebody, it does hurt them. And so I think I have that power. I think I have the conditioning and the endurance. No, I definitely have the willpower to be champion. So it doesn't matter who has the belt at that time. Just one of these days, hopefully in 2 to 3 years, I'll be the champion. I don't think it'll be a 5-year process or a 4-year process. I truly think that I can be there in 2 to 3 years because I'm an active fighter. I fought 3 times in 5 weeks before, and I'm down to fight another 3 times in 5 weeks again. I just want to, knock off some of my contract. I want to start, getting people out of the way and build up. It doesn't matter who it is, when it is, where it is. I'll just be ready at all times.